Men who use the no contact rule to get an ex back, how did you make it work? Story 1. My ex-girlfriend and I broke up 3 months ago. When the relationship ended, I panicked and couldn't cope. I would have done anything to get her back, and every minute, I obsessed about her return. I kept trying to convince her why it was a mistake until one day, boom. I was blocked. It was the best thing that could have happened. I was forced to focus on personal development, gratitude, and dating others. I told myself that if she reached out, I would post on here, as there was a point when I clung to the "she came back" posts. She unblocked me days ago and messaged me on Instagram, saying, "Hey stranger, how have you been?" The message I wanted for so long, and I blocked her. I am a living example that you will get out of this stronger on the other side. I am currently seeing a new girl, I'm the strongest I've ever been, and I'm killing it at work. Turn this pain into progress, and I assure you that you are going to be better off. Never take that person back. You will get through this, and that person will regret losing you. Story 2. Don't think that no contact is a magic wand, it isn't. The problem where most people stumble is by acting poorly about the breakup. If they want to leave, show them the door, let them exit without any fuss, hassle, or emotional reaction, be professional about it, and it will confuse the hell out of them. However, very importantly, do not cave a day or a week later. Doing so might tilt the odds in your favor. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. If someone decides to leave you, they didn't suddenly wake up that day and say, "I'm off." That decision is like a layered cake with one problem stacked on top of another. Use that time wisely to improve yourself and rebuild. If your relationship had depth or substance, that person will miss you. It won't happen immediately because initially, they are relieved to part ways given the breakup and reasons for the separation. After some time, that negativity subsides, and if the grass isn't greener on the other side of the fence, then just maybe you stand a chance. If someone leaves you, there's a reason, and it takes as long as it takes for them to reach out, if at all. Everything depends on how much you two had in your tank, so to speak. I had a long time invested in my ex, with many extremely special moments over the years, and we got back together. But let me tell you something, she reached out, and you have to carefully identify and seize those genuine opportunities. Don't fall for breadcrumbs, it has to be a really strong indication, such as them genuinely wanting or loving you and missing you madly, acknowledging feelings for you. If they don't reach out after months, the chances are not good, and the grass was probably greener. But whatever you do, don't maintain an endless vigil. Move on yourself, and grow. Learn from this experience. Story 3. I accepted the fact that she wasn't coming back about a month or so ago, and finally, I was content with life. I started working out and truly loving myself again. Today, she texted me and broke no contact, but there was never any bad blood between us. It was a healthy breakup, and I'm glad it was. We started texting again, and the bond never went away. I am aware that getting back together with her may be a mistake, and we have to get to know each other again and learn with each other, but I'm just glad to have my best friend back. Story 4. I broke up with my ex-girlfriend after I felt she violated my trust. A few months later, I asked her out because I'd forgiven her, but she declined. I said okay and never bothered her again after that. 9 months later, she hits me up and says that she misses me and asks to hang out. At this point, I'd already had a new girlfriend, and her friendship served no purpose to me, so I declined. Funny. Seems like life gives you what you want when you stop wanting it. Story 5. Last August, she ended our relationship, citing my immaturity as the main issue. Despite my unwavering support and love, my lack of trust drove a wedge between us. Her brother's death and personal struggles made her request space, but I misconstrued it, suspecting infidelity. Eventually, she broke up, explaining that my impatience added to her burdens. In December, she asked for no contact to move on. Despite my deep remorse, I respected her wish. Months passed with thoughts of her consuming me. Then, earlier this week, she sent me a text saying that she misses me. I was in shock. I mean, I have had dreams about this happening, but there was no way this was real. I had already started to accept that I would never see or hear from her again. But she continued. She wanted to see if she could come over and catch up. I told her she is always welcome, and so after a few days, she came to visit me today. We caught up, talked, and apologized to each other. Mostly, I let her take the lead on things because I still wasn't sure about her motives. But after a round of passionate sex, I think I got the picture now. As she was leaving, she asked if she could come back. I repeated what I had always told her. You are always welcome here. She told me that she was glad that I was still so kind to her even though she left me when I was also going through a lot. I had lost my job and was struggling. She told me she would do her best to make sure she is there for me and that she could see a future with us. I'm not sending this to try and give people hope, but in my case, it seems I let it go, and it came back. Guess it was meant to be. Guess I'll find out, but for now, some dreams do come true. Story 6. When my girlfriend's behavior suddenly changed, and she started being distant, I knew something was wrong. She was working in France, and I was in Poland, waiting for us to build a life together. It turned out she was still in contact with her ex, not disclosing our relationship. She often spoke about him, expressing how his departure made her want him more, despite her feelings for me. She frequently went out, mostly with guys, disregarding my feelings. When she abruptly broke up with me, I researched tricks to win her back and used some during our contact. I sensed that the grass wasn't greener on the other side for her, but I didn't mention it. When we met, we hooked up, even though she claimed not to have feelings for me. After almost 2 years, upon returning from France, she signaled that she wanted a life with me, citing dissatisfaction with her life there. However, I refused, recognizing my worth. I'm not a garbage bin, unwilling to accept what someone discards when done. So, you'll be depressed and want your ex back badly. That's normal, but it will pass. Trust me. And when it does, focus on yourself, hit the gym, work, make money. There are always better options than ungrateful, lying, useless individuals. Story 7. I never expected to find myself writing this, but she came back. She's always been the determined one, sticking to her decisions, but this time, she changed her mind. Essentially, she said everything I wished to hear, the words I'd imagined her saying in my mind. About 4 months ago, she walked away from our 1.5-year-long relationship, mentioning she had lost feelings and was struggling with depression. Her words, admitting she loved me as much as she could but couldn't continue, felt like a dagger to my heart, and I'm still trying to recover from that statement. It was painful. When she reached out, she confessed that not a day went by without her missing me. Our conversations brought a smile to her face, and she revisited the things I wrote specifically for her during our time together. She explained that she'd wanted to contact me for a while but lacked the courage, thinking I had moved on since I had blocked her almost everywhere except Viber. She expressed a lot of love and a desire for a second chance, a fresh start. During these past months, I was the one holding strong. I didn't feel the urge to reach out during the 2 months of no contact. I refrained from checking her socials or revisiting our conversations. I wouldn't have initiated contact if she hadn't reached out. Although I missed her a lot, my focus was on moving forward. Throughout our conversation, I kept my vulnerabilities to a minimum. I mentioned that I hadn't fully moved on and that I no longer trusted her. Despite this, I remained respectful, understanding the difficulty she faced in reaching out. Regarding a second chance, I suggested she take time to reconsider and give me the same, emphasizing that I wouldn't risk it again and asking her not to contact me until then. I'm open to whatever unfolds. I've managed so far, and I'll continue to do so in the future. Exciting things are happening in my life, and I'm looking forward to them. If we decide to give it a second try, I'll let her prove her worth while proceeding with extreme caution. In conclusion, the strategy of radio silent no contact has proven effective. Story 8. About 6 years ago, there was this ex of mine that I couldn't stop thinking about. I seriously missed her. I took a moment to recognize why I still found her attractive and wanted her back. I was dealing with some intense feelings of sadness and emptiness, basically in a bit of a depressed state whenever I thought about her. But I also decided to be real with myself. I didn't just focus on the emotional side of things, I looked at the reasons why the relationship didn't work out. I thought about my own faults and hers too. I considered her complicated life situation, and honestly, the way she ended things wasn't a great look for her. It was a mix of realizing what went wrong and facing the fact that maybe getting her back wasn't the best idea. That's where journaling came in. It became my way of letting out all those emotions, a kind of emotional detox. I didn't just write about missing her and how it made me feel, I also explored the perks of not having her in my life anymore. Putting pen to paper helped me shift my focus. Instead of dwelling on the past, I started concentrating on the positives of moving forward. Journaling gave me a daily purpose, something meaningful to focus on. So, if you're going through a no-contact phase, I'd seriously suggest giving journaling a shot. Pour out your feelings about missing your ex and explore the impact it has on you. At the same time, be real about the advantages that come with them not being around. Even though you might miss them, there are some pretty good reasons why not having them in your life is a plus. Story 9. In a 5.5-year relationship, she dumped me seemingly out of the blue in May. She immediately started dating someone younger she met at school while I was still living with her and looking for a new place. I found out due to her carelessness. Eventually, I found a place and moved out. I was devastated in every facet of my life, traumatized in a way friends and family had never seen before. It was a dark time. I immediately started no contact and began serious soul searching. I blocked her on all social media, deleted every photo of her, stopped all drinking and drugs. I started exercising every day, shedding 20 pounds to get back to my pre-relationship weight. My six-pack is back, and I'm looking fit. I'm searching for a new job and planning to move to a new city at the end of my lease. Finally, I'm excited about the future and starting to get over her and what she did. A week ago, she started breadcrumbing me by returning items I left, non-essential things I obviously don't need. Then, she accidentally runs into me at the beach she knows I go to. She asks to talk under the pretense of me seeing her dog, who I will always love, no matter what she did. She starts sobbing and begs me to forgive her. I tell her I need answers to many questions if I'm to consider being friends with her, let alone retrying our relationship. Yesterday, she asks to meet to answer my questions but can't answer the basic, "Why did you do it?" and "What feelings made you do this?" questions. It's a complete waste of time. She hasn't done a moment of self-reflection. I share how much progress I've made. She comments on how good I look. My ego is riding high, but at the end of the day, it still sucks. She's been texting me photos of us from happier times and showed up unannounced at my house last night. She is begging me to take her back. I know I can't. At times I want to dunk on her with a big, "Screw you," but I know that won't satisfy anything. She acknowledges it was a mental health crisis, and she needs serious work, but it won't be with me around. 2 months ago, I dreamed of this scenario and would have done anything to get her back. Now it's here, and it's pathetic and exhausting. She is objectively very attractive, but she looks like crap to me now. I see her for who she is now, and it ain't pretty. Story 10. I use no contact after every breakup, and it's interesting how, whether it's been a few months or a couple of years, my exes somehow find a reason to reach out and see how I've been. It usually happens right after they've had a rough breakup, maybe with a kid or two in tow. They seem to think that because I was nice, I might overlook the kids and the 35 pounds they've gained. They probably expect me to jump at the chance to revive the past and become both a boyfriend and a potential father figure to their new kids, but let me tell you, I've never taken any of them back. Time has this way of letting you reflect on your mistakes and learn not to repeat them. So, when I go through this post-breakup no-contact routine, it's not to get them back. It's more about making them wish they still had me around. I'm not claiming to be the best guy or some supermodel, but I know my worth. It's interesting how the women I used to date only realized it after getting mixed up with someone less than stellar post-breakup. Just some food for thought. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like the video and subscribe to this channel. We'll see you on the next one.